Hola, chicas. Welcome to Encuentras Your Voice podcast, where we share Latina journeys from ancestry to authenticity and that aha moment that changed their lives forever after embracing true self. Maybe it was the last straw, burnout, or the epiphany of having the light go on. Our fabulous guests vulnerably share their stories, giving all our listeners the gift of feeling included, seen, and loved as they resonate with the Latina journey. I'm your host, Consuelo Crosby, here with you every Wednesday at 5 p.m. sunny California Pacific time, and honored to hold the mic to record truth and accuracy in our own words, our own time, and creating a living archive of the Latina Diaspora for our ancestors who may have been silenced, ignored, or erased. It's passion, resistance, and self-love, all wrapped up into full-length conversations, exploring our shared experiences and the true history that got us here today. Thank you for joining us today on this last episode 163 of 2024. 2024 is over for us as of today. But keep us in mind and keep catching up on all the amazing episodes that we have done this year, thanks to you, our powerful listeners who keep us supported and loved, and the beautiful guests that join us every week here on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. You could always find us. Literally only 11 more days of the year, and we are wrapping it up today with the top 3 episodes that you chose. Yup, this is based on our listeners and the favorites you had this year. It was such an eclectic group that I feel it really validates the complex beauty of the cultura, both in the immense depth of knowledge and talent of the guests and the powerful intelligence and curiosity of our listeners wanting to know it all. But not just the topics, the people. And that's what we really pride ourselves on with this show. That it's not just about giving you the top 3 tips, the easiest ways to make money and all that. No, this is about feeling like you're sitting on a sofa with your best amiga right next to you, finally in conversation because you're relaxed, you're listening, and you're putting priority on each other. Before we get too excited on these top listens, I just want to remind you that this is the best time to really practice the slow retreat from that frenetic life choices and just lean into yourself. I know there are still so many things to get done, but truly, what do you remember more? The tasks you finished or the times you were just too exhausted? Yeah, we tend to remember what went wrong, what was bad. So we're going to flip the script. We're going to remember the time we took for ourselves, for each other, and leaning into each other because we have to make that space here because no one else is going to do it. So let's do it the easy way. With the holidays literally starting next week for so many, and most people around the world taking a hard pause, especially in the cultura, take advantage of no one scheduling meetings or demanding responses from you and just chill. Maybe catch up on the amigas and amigos you may have missed this season or even this year on the podcast. They had so many sparkling gems to drop that helped us feel seen, feel understood. They gave us guidance for life situations so we don't feel alone in them, and help us kick the blinders off to see a bigger life filled with joy and opportunity. And that is the best feeling in the world. Making the world so big that we don't feel any barriers. We don't see an end that's going to prevent us from going further. And so we have endless choices to create the life we want for ourselves. It's time to manifest the best life for the future and give gratitude for the best life of this year. Because if you're listening, then you're here with us. And that's a blessing. Truly a blessing. And even if you're feeling off, and not where you want to be, we are definitely here for you. So with this being the last episode of 2024, the last episode of Season 7, we're going to wrap it up quickly today, but with gifts and more gifts straight into the new year. including the $100 gift card that one lucky winner selected randomly will add to their goodie bag this year. Want to know how to win? All you have to do is go to our Instagram post from last week and today's post, like and share the post, tag a friend in the comments, and add what your favorite episode gem was for you this year. That's it. Then go ahead and manifest that gift card to come right over your way. Now, the top 3 episodes of the year being season 6 and 7, were the episodes that drew the most listeners within 2 weeks of their release time. Because we are so blessed to have so many people discover us over time and continue to add to the downloads, that these numbers just continue to change. And then there's also the point that only just 2 weeks ago was our last guest of the year, Adriana Aaron Rivera, award-winning author, Paloma's Song for Puerto Rico, a diary from 1898, which is a children's historical fiction chapter book in collaboration with the Smithsonian Institute. So we had to have a quick cutoff, but we know that these episodes continue to find listeners and continue to bring so much enjoyment and knowledge your way. And honestly, they were all so close together that, again, it really shows how much you all appreciate each one of our guests for who they are and what they share. You all are the fuel to keep me going, to make this the largest living archive of the diaspora of our Latinidad, filled with the heritage stories not just of our guests, but of generations of their ancestors that may never have had the opportunity to be heard. You are learning generations of stories, all in 1 hour on our Wednesdays. And I'd love for you to bring yours to the table, to be part of the large comunidad that we have going here. So these were so close that there's actually a tie for second. Your second top listened to show. And we end up with top 4 episodes because that's what we are. Absolute best listeners that lean in with a yes, we can attitude. 3's not enough, we're bringing 4. So the third top listen for the year, combining season 6 and 7, was Adriana Aaron Rivera. Our last guest is the Puerto Rican pride showing up to support this award-winning author and the history of the island that she brilliantly culled from the Library of Congress archives and her own personal experience frolicking on her abuela's finca in the summer times. I am so ready to learn as much as I can about Puerto Rico now that I just can't wait anymore. I mean, woo! Thank you immensely, Adriana, for sharing your journey, your author story, and your call to action for all of us to appreciate and value the history of the island, the people, and their strength in keeping their authenticity thriving. I put this question out on Threads asking people how they learned about the history of Puerto Rico, and wow, literally was gratefully schooled by brilliant people that just joined in the conversation, and now I'm just going down this deep rabbit hole of learning. With so much gratitude to Adriana for opening the bejeweled and beautiful Pandora's box of Puerto Rico. And there is one man I have to reach out to who just happens to be Peruvian, or more aligned Quechuan, who knows so much. I really want to have him on the podcast in 2025. Now, our tied episodes for the second top listens are so completely different in their expertise and stories that you just have to cheer on the comunidad. And they each were in a different season. So again, immense gratitude for our longtime listeners for being our foundation and our encouragement. Chloe Calio, director, writer, and filmmaker. Yes, she is all that. Talked about taking risks on yourself, finding your tribe, and ultimately having it all lead to that big break. Hers came from Netflix and the Los Angeles International Film Festival, who honored Chloe's talent as a 2023 cohort in the Inclusion Fellowship. It was there that she made the film Development, a first-gen plight in corporate America with the Latinas winning in the end. Yep, that's not a spoiler alert because it is real. That's what we do anyway. The movie takes on many of Chloe's own experiences, even using her real parents' names for the lead roles, filled by epic stars Haskiri Velasquez and Sal Lopez. Now, come on, those are household names in entertainment. They're iconic. And Chloe draws on her own friendship to ensure full representation for the hard of hearing community, creating a role specifically for actress Raquel McPeak Rodriguez. Chloe has been hitting it big on the festival scene, so keep an eye out to catch her film development while you can still see it in an intimate setting because this short is going big. And keeping her company in the second top listen is Monica Islas, certified athletic trainer, founder of Body Wellness LLC to keep you healthy, pain-free, and active, and cultural practitioner of curanderismo, traditional healing without Western medicine. Monica shared her early life experience of dreaming to be the LA Dodgers athletic trainer, only to have the harsh reality of circumstances stemming from her father's preventable, that's the key, preventable injury, pain, and ultimate lifelong loss due to the lack of attention, priority, and support in the workplace. Now, this one's a real eye-opener for anyone who has experienced an injury, or maybe has chronic pain, or is caring for someone, because as she tells you, there is more harm being done in the, air quotes, treatment than in the injury itself. Yes, Monica calls out BS and teaches us how to cure ourselves with some guidance from her and her amazing team, avoiding destructive painkillers and instead leaning into the ancient knowledge of the cultura passed on for generations. And in our top spot for 2024, Fabiola Santiago, indigenous Zapotec of the Central Valley of Oaxaca and founder of Mi Oaxaca, an educational organization sharing knowledge of traditional food and beverage culture of Oaxaca, and how it is directly and often negatively affected by our trends here in the U.S. Fabiola really helps us sit down and consider how, again, the true story of cultural and spiritual life choices are disrupted, negated, when they're used here. In her episode, she shares her own life experiences growing up in the native communities where mezcal is an honored part of tradition, life choices, community, and spirituality, all of which are rarely learned by us here in the U.S. and thus not considered or respected when we engage in the social aspects of mezcal. Fabiola's episode definitely prompted a lot of thought-provoking conversations, and again, gratitude to our listeners for sharing their feels for this one. It wasn't just the spirituality of mezcal, though, that brought attention, but Fabiola's authenticity, her parenting style, her respect for the land, and ultimately, her strength to do justice in the form of education and welcome for all. There you have it. The top 3, really top 4, episodes of 2024. Thank you immensely to our listeners for honoring these Latina stories, learning from their expertise, and championing their continued success in making space in the world for the comunidad. You'll find the links in our show notes for getting in touch with these amazing Latinas and to their websites that are filled with even more of the powerful talent they bring to us every day. I am manifesting for 2025 in a big way to have live events, to meet in person, to share the talents of our amazing guests in real life, and thrive in each other's company. You can see it, right? Do you feel like the bubbly coming up? Just let me know what city we should show up in, and I am there with you. You've heard it on the episodes over and over again. It could be movie screenings, author readings, speakers, all backed with the food and bevies of the cultura. Now that That's how it's done. There's not going to be any white tablecloths. You're not going to be sequestered into a conference room. This is going to be grand. So let me know where we should come, and we are there. So have a very Merry Christmas, a beautiful, soulful Noche Buena, and happy, glorious holidays through the new year to get ready for that epic lineup of guests we have for January 2025. Yep, we're already there. We're starting off the new year empowered, supported, and thriving with a month of New Year, New You. Guests bringing the power to you to encuentras your voice, your life vision, and your confidence to live your most authentic self. Step into your truth, ladies. Feliz Navidad, Prospero Año, y ciao. We love that you have subscribed to this podcast and continue to champion women who understand the life of all things Latina. Be sure to follow and subscribe to the Encuentras Your Voice podcast so you don't miss a single episode. They will automatically drop into your listening device each week, and we'd really appreciate if you take a moment to add to the reviews that we already have. Tell us what you like, tell us what you're hoping to hear, and we will get there. Share this with your friends and family. Let's grow our comunidad and keep following us on our social media to Encuentras Your Voice. We are so grateful to you for helping us grow this community and would love to learn of all the amazing Latinas who you know are creating the world we thrive in. So reach out to me on social media at Encuentras Your Voice, and let's keep leaning into our authenticity in pride. Help us make Encuentras Your Voice the place where you are 100% represented.